Hello bookworms! Today I'm back with my November TBR video. The first book that I am planning on reading in November, I do not have a copy of yet because it doesn't come out until, I believe it's November 10th, and that is Winter by Marissa Meyer. It is the conclusion to the Lunar Chronicles. It is also the book that Cassie, Melissa, and I are going to be reading for our second book club. We figured that all of us have read the Lunar Chronicles up until now, so that's like the perfect thing. And it's actually it's funny, it's kind of nice. Cinder is one of the first books that all of us really connected together on over reading. We've all just really loved it, and it's just nice to get back to that nostalgic little place where we all were wow, we all really love the same books. I will let you guys know at some point when we're going to be having the live show for that. It will be again toward the end of the month, but feel free to read along with us and then come hang out and tell us your feelings on the book. The next book that I am planning on reading in November is Isla and the Happily Ever After by Stephanie Perkins. I'm really looking forward to reading this one. I read so many horror and thriller books last month in October because of Halloween, and I was trying to be all in spirit and stuff, but now I'm just craving a really fun, cute contemporary and also fantasy. I'm just really looking forward to jumping into some other genres because I feel like I was in that one genre for so long, and there were definitely times that I woke up in the middle of the night concerned that there were going to be ghosts around, so it'll be nice to not have that thought lurking in the back of my mind. Isla and the Happily Ever After, I talked about it in my book haul. It's the third book in the Anna and the French Kiss companion series, and it finally came out in paperback, so it matches the rest of my collection, and I am really excited to get into this one. I've been hearing really good things from people who have the same kinds of tastes as me, so I'm really hoping that I'm going to fall on the side of people who love it. The next book that I'm planning on reading is Winterspell by Claire Legrand. This is another one that I talked about in my October book haul. I guess I'll link that down below in case you guys haven't seen it. And I'll link both of them because that was a book haul that was so big that I needed to split it into two videos. Otherwise, it would have been a sitcom episode of a book haul, so that just seemed unnecessary. Anyway, so Winterspell by Claire Legrand is a standalone fantasy novel that is a retelling of The Nutcracker, and I think that this is the perfect time to read that because winter is coming. I'm not trying to make a Game of Thrones reference here. Winter is on its way, and Christmas is on its way, and this is just something that will help me get into the spirit. Not that I need help with that because I celebrate Christmas for half the year. I've been listening to this podcast called First Draft Podcast with Sarah Ennie, and my friend Alice recommended it to me, and I just love it. So one of the episodes that I listened to most recently is an episode where Sarah was interviewing Claire, and she just sounded like a lovely person, and just hearing her talk about Winterspell made me really excited because I already owned this book, so I was planning on reading it anyway, but now I'm oh my god, I need it now. And then she also wrote another book that I am planning on picking up because that sounded really interesting too from that. So if you haven't listened to First Draft Podcast, it's a really good podcast, and she interviews lots of YA authors, and it's just really fun, so that's a thing to listen to. The next book that I'm planning on reading is The Elite by Kira Cass, and this is the second book in the Selection series. Read the first book of the Selection series during Booktubeathon back in August, I believe. Yeah, it was the first week of August, and I really loved it, and I really wanted to read more, but as I said in my October TBR and Life Updates video, I was having trouble focusing on reading, and I really wanted to save this for when I would be able to, when my headaches went away, and fortunately they are gone, so it's time for me to find out what's going to happen next in this story. And the last book that I am definitely planning on reading as part of my TBR is Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo. Again, I've heard nothing but great things about this. I've heard that it is an Ocean's 11 type heist novel, which sounds really exciting to me. That's set in a fantasy type setting. It's the same world as the Grisha trilogy, which I have not read, but again, I keep hearing that you don't necessarily have to have read that in order to enjoy Six of Crows, so I'm really looking forward to reading this and then definitely at some point going back and reading the original trilogy. It's so pretty. I also actually did hear that how it has the black pages. I heard that that's limited edition and it's not necessarily going to be like that for so long. So if you are interested in getting this and you also think that this is very pretty, you should probably pick up your copy as soon as you can. So those are all of the books that I'm planning on reading in November. And as I said in my wrap up, I usually tend to read about 9 books a month. That seems to be like the average for me for the past 6 months. So those are only 5 of the things that I'm planning on reading, and then the other 4 will be whatever I feel like, because I tend to be more of a mood reader and it's whatever I happen to be feeling like reading that day that I'll pick up. Let me know what you guys are planning on reading in November. I would love to hear, and I would also love if you guys could join us for the live show for winter, because that's going to be a lot of fun. Grab your wine if you're 21 years old and able to do so, and just come hang out with us because it'll be fun. So yeah, I will see you guys soon with a new video. Bye!